everyone, and in this video, we're going to be talking about level 163, which is survival difficulty of class 0, safe, which safe, secure, and devoid of entities. Level 163 is also given the nickname of the Call of the Void, is is a level described as a series of generic high-rise buildings surrounded by thick fog. This fog makes it impossible to see where the base of the building is. So you can't really, like, when you look down, it's really you can't see the bottom. So it really adds to the eerie vibe of this level. This photograph to but and um but this level, it's sometimes popular on knowing whether there is some sort of ground below the fog or if the level simply exists within an endless void. This second option is more popular theory of the two. Due to this nature of the backrooms, it is it is more popular, and that's why we use this term, this level. We use this term of the void, which is also which is also indicated that you could of the void is a real thing in the backrooms, and because it's complete abyss below you, so it really adds to a really eerie vibe. And when entering the level, visitors will appear inside of an elevator. Few ascending for a few minutes, the elevator arrives at a room on the roof of the tallest skyscraper, which is simply known as the central building. Now, I think most, if you arrive in an elevator, I mean, for the level to prevent you from getting out of that elevator, it might it might keep shrinking until you get out. So like some natures of certain levels, I don't know, the backrooms is very mysterious, but it always gives to that liminal feelings. That's why it's called liminal space, like or the fancy version of the back rooms. Now, after ascending for a few minutes, the elevator arrives at a room on the roof of the tallest skyscraper, which is simply known as the central building. Oh, I already repeated that. This building is currently the only one that can be accessed safely since the other existing structure in this level are generally too far away to be reached, which is the first thing to keep note in this in when on this level. Now, some things, like, I'm not gonna get into like tips on how to like survive like any specific levels or the generally the back rooms itself, um but I know that like phenomenons in this level and something that will happen. I will mention those and a little background detail about it, like a lot, as I'll try and do my best. And so the weather in this level is always cloudy and windy. There are no reports of rain or snow. Temperatures usually fluctuate between negative 5 Celsius and 5 Celsius. Although there have been records of temperatures as low as of negative 12 Celsius, which, I mean, some levels, they do have mysterious properties, but usually the weather, it kind of matter. It kind of like it can vary on, like, maybe the level's trying to act as if you're high up, because the higher up you are, the colder it is going to get. So that, of course, will make sense. And the roof of the central building is mostly empty, only featuring some vents and maybe some AC units and a little electrical equipment, as well as the entrance to the aforementioned elevator. The floor plan of this roof features two halves. The first half has the shape of a right-angled trapezoid, and the second half is slightly elevated and has a rectangular shape. In the center, a cubical structure can be found, which is where the elevator resides. Now, to summarize that for real quick, the level often like negates like the elevator, the shape of the elevator, well, where the elevator comes from, and the kind of floor plan of this roof. It's kind of features two halves. The first half as the shape of a right angled trapezoid, and the second, so I'm So if we look at this image right here, then we can see that it is currently the like shape of the building and current elevator, which is in the middle of the building as we would consider. So we have the stairs and the elevator, which is a rough sketch of the floor plan of the central building provided by a wanderer. Now this level it doesn't say how much it was discovered. It was early or late, maybe in the late 2000s. I don't know, but what we do know is many of the travelers who have visited this level have reported constant feelings of vertigo and distortion, as well as occasional nausea and headaches. There have been also many instances of the phenomenon known as the call of the void, which is also given to the title of this level, which can be defined as a strange urge to jump one may have when looking down from a tall height, such as a skyscraper. Now, I've actually looked up at some of these other levels as well, similar to this one, and most of them do have the same feeling or effect on them. It just urges you to jump. So, I mean, of course, you shouldn't let those intrusive thoughts win, but I would also keep that in mind. So keep that in mind too. So maybe this has some strange effects and properties, as a lot of levels do, but we will talk more about it soon. And such as a skyscraper, which was where you want to jump off of. Nearly all of these cases have resulted in the subject acting on this urge and falling. This is a well documented phenomenon in the front rooms. However, it usually doesn't result in the subject jumping, but in level 163, its effect seems to be amplified. So really, I really, I really would avoid this, but I'm sure in the front rooms, it's called intrusive thoughts, and well, I'm sure you all get those thoughts when you have a sharp object, and that's sometimes, that's sometimes just what you want to do. Um, Yeah, never mind. What happens to the vast majority of the subjects who do jump into the void is unknown, although there was one wanderer who started a now deleted forum post that after falling, they found themselves in level 198, where they kept falling for several days until appearing in level 11. Now, of course, you can start seeing stuff in like level 11. Of course, in some levels, you can just start seeing like weird stuff and hallucinations. But if you want to no clip through something, I mean, if you want to get to another level, I'm sure there are some good instances in cases of other exits to this level and entrances. While many that fallen all the way into the void simply leads to one's death. Some theorize that the existence of the void is a sign that this level is in fact a part of the blue channel, and thus anyone who falls here will keep falling until they die of a natural cause such as starvation. Another theory suggests that anyone who falls to the void is sent to level 254, which they say might explain why no one has returned after the fall. So far, neither of these theories have been proven. Now, level 254, I'm guessing, is another trap level where you cannot escape after leaving, um, but afterwards I will give more detail about level 254. And the blue channel is more, it's kind of, when it says it's connected to the blue channel, since it's the blue channel, you can kind of like float around and you can go to other levels there. It's kind of, since you can't really see the top, it might be connected to the top like level. That's why this is the Call of the Void and level 168. Now this level does have a lot of lore, has a lot of good explanations attached to it, explained, um, it might be attached to the blue channel, which is also another theory. But so, many theories have been called, and I may think some like no clipping, or if anyone any effects that like when you look down it resembles what like whatever could be below, or if the effect to this scenario is like any differ from other levels, but we will see. Besides the call the void phenomenon and the void itself, that I think there are no other known environmental hazards in this level, and the only known entity is the elevator. All right. Now, aside from all of the physical nature and effects of this level, in which I will probably make an explanation of a video of the blue channel in the future, so stay tuned for that. And there are simply no bases, outposts, or communities here, and due to the nature of the symptoms that visitors suffer inside the level, settling it has proven to be rather difficult. And most visitors tend to try to find an exit as soon as possible due to these unpleasant symptoms. No serious attempts have been made to create an outpost in this level as of writing this article. Oh, now the person who has simply written this article is me explaining how no possible, like, no very serious or like high effort attempts to create a bases outposts on this level or communities, but usually, I mean, it's not any severe of symptoms, but it's still pretty moderate, containing. And so aside from these, which I would recommend, like, got to which if you would want to ever leave or come to this level, which I will explain in just a moment. On most the same person who has survived the fall into the void made on November 15th, 2021. So is this I'm guessing that this level was discovered in later attempts, like in later, so maybe 2020 or farther word, so I'm just guessing it was discovered later, and then was deleted soon after, which I can discuss the story. But if you, well, which that would recommend. But if you would somehow want to enter this level, in in the levels shown above level 9, all elevators have a small chance of sending you to this level instead of the planned destination. There's also a chance that the button for this level will appear in an elevator. There's also a theory that this level may be directly connected to the elevator shaft, although it's impossible to access this level from where unless inside an elevator. Right, when you get here, and if you would want to exit, which find escape exiting this level, which on arrival, if a visitor leaves and re-enters the elevator before the door closes, this elevator will violently descend, and the visitor will be sent to, or the visitor/wanderer will be sent to level 3, maybe level 4, and maybe level 5. Now, if the visitor instead waits for the elevator to leave and calls it again, the elevator will arrive and function like a regular elevator entity relating to this previous exit. There's also a chance that instead of the elevator, you will find the white door that will then that if you when you go walk through it, that when you go through it, you will be sent to level 998. Now, the previously mentioned case of falling and no clipping into level 198 is still under investigation. In the case that this method can be replicated, this will be considered as a legitimate exit to the level. In the meantime, the void is considered a hazard since the usual outcome of falling into it is still unknown. Now, it still can be dangerous, just saying, still unknown. And um shortly after this, there is a simple wanderer story, then that this person has that have soon survived and deleted right after. Now, simply regarding the last story. It is here is the one here is one of the survivors' story. Okay. So this story shows of a person named Tay, and they have been stuck in the back rooms for who knows, they don't matter time. It's not, time in the back rooms. It's kind of you're stuck in it. It's kind of a timeless place, and some levels don't even affect time at all. They just, they avoid the complexity of time completely. And this man he is currently on level 11, lying down on an old mattress I found inside some building, drinking almond water. I really need to replenish my energies after what I have just gone through. I hope that anyone who have made read this listens to me when I say, if you find yourself in level 163, leave immediately. There may be no dangerous entities. It may be a class 0 level, but trust me, it's not safe. They share a story of how they got into level 163. Everything started to go wrong, and I went inside a building in level 11 and found myself in level 13. I hate level 13. Sometimes something about it is miles more depressing than any other backrooms level for me. So they kind of found themselves level 13. They hate it, and I guess it reminds them of a place I lived in as a kid. After going through for a while, I found an old elevator. I could do two things. I I could be stuck in level 13 forever, or maybe take one of those usual exits to any of the other, arguably worse levels and connected with, or I could take a chance with this elevator. So I decided to enter the elevator and let luck decide my fate. Surely enough, I got lucky, and one of the available buttons was level 11, so I pressed it without hesitation and waited. The level started moving. Minutes passed and it was still moving. I found it strange that the elevator was taking so long to travel between two levels that are so close to each other, but I didn't think much of it. After a while, the lights went out. I went on full alert, thinking some entity was invading the elevator, or maybe the elevator has simply decided I should fall to my death, which could happen. But, there is an entity in the back rooms called trap elevators, actually. I forgot, but these elevators, they are some sort of entity, and also there is a simple entity noted in level 163, which is the elevator. And, and, but but I started to get when he started to get nervous. None of this felt normal at all. But then again, is anything in the back rooms normal? I thought. No, it's a full. Well, I guess, I guess escaping the back rooms can be well entering escaping the back rooms could be simply if it can vary and varied and simply impossible at some points sometimes. But it's just about finding the right word, you guys. When this elevator, the Wanderer, talks about, and when this elevator finally stopped, it felt like an eternity. I heard a ding sound and the doors opened. Inside level 163. I stepped out of the elevator only to find myself in a dimly lit room. The walls were concrete, the floor was concrete, everything was covered in pipes and vents. This didn't look like anything I'd ever found in level 11 before. Right in front of me, I could see a metallic double door colored in yellow, an emergency exit sign. Maybe hanging on top of it, shining in green. Maybe I thought this was some sort of maintenance room, and going through the door will lead to the rest of level 11. With no other exit in sight, I stepped forward and opened the door. As soon as I did this, a freezing violet wind slapped me in my face. This was not level 11. I looked around. This new area looked like a rooftop of a skyscraper. I soon realized what was going on. I'd heard rumors before. I've heard rumors about this, the wanderer kept explaining. But, but, but this mysterious place that the elevators would sometimes send you to, no matter what level you picked. But it was just that rumors, and I tend to not listen to rumors. But for once, the rumors were right. I was in level 163, and I had to get out. While I was thinking all of this, I realized something. I was walking straight toward the edge of the building. It felt as if my legs had a mind of their own, as if some force was slowly pushing me forward until I got to the edge. As soon as I found myself looking into the void, yes, the void, there was a thick, almost purplish fog covering everything. And when I looked down, I could not see any ground. I could only see fog. Everything was just purplish color as far as the eye could see. So, um, one thing, one thing, and no matter and the only thing that was invading the wanderer's mind is I couldn't shake off how mad I should jump. As more how hard I tried, you should jump. I had this terrible urge to just jump. I wanted to die. I didn't want to die. I didn't feel any sort of sadness or discomfort. I just wanted to jump. Something was taking me over. There was voices telling me to jump over and over, and I couldn't ignore it. Well, this voices maybe it could be considered that the level is urging you to jump to lead you to the edge, which is the only which is the only wrong effect, which is the only casualty and dangerous thing about this level. So maybe it's just evil voices trying to urge you to jump and lead to lead to who knows what kind of fate the backroom decides to, but I would not, but I would not recommend this type of deja vu effect and what end the wanderer states. But then again, what if I jumped? Before I knew it, I gave it and jumped. I was free falling, and suddenly the voices disappeared. That's when that panic kicked in. I was about to die. I started screaming, and then something knocked at me out. Well, Welp, inside level 198. When my eyes opened again, I was still falling. I started screaming again, but then when I realized that something was very different, the fog was gone. It was daytime, and then when I looked all around me, all I could see was a slightly cloudy blue sky. Had I been transported to another level, I looked down, more sky. I looked around again, still more sky. There was no trace of a building. I had just fallen off, I guess. There was nothing in this new level, and I was simply doomed to fall forever. I stopped screaming, no point in wasting air and energy like that. Then I remembered another rumor I'd heard. Apparently, on rare occasions, when falling from a tall distance, there was a certain level you would be transported to. Level 198, a level where there was nothing but sky, no solid ground to stand on. All you could do was free fall and wait to be transported to a different level. But but he'd the wanderer. I'd also heard the story of this one girl who fell from a building in level 11 and was transported here. She spent at least a week straight falling before transported back to level 11. If the rumors were true, I might spend a while in this place. But of course, sometimes you might even unalive other due to other natural occasions, di- difficulties. And when I when so after my visit to level 163, I was willing to trust the rumors as if he said the wanderer, he said. So I calmed down and waited. I didn't care how long it would take, as long as there was a chance to get back to safety. And returning to level 11 after 5 days ago, just 30 minutes, he then ended up straight back on level 11, which felt like, yet, of course, another eternity. So, so given my thoughts on this current level, I'm thinking some sort of entity. Of course, the only noted entity is only the elevator, but there are still a lot of unknown properties about levels in the back rooms that nobody still knows about. So, so considering this, I was thinking, uh, I was thinking that that before the Wonder States anything happened, but that didn't matter. I survived. I don't fully understand levels 163 and 198. It seems that my survival was a mere coincidence. I've read that everyone who has fallen into the void in level 163 before me has simply disappeared, never to be seen again. That sounds scary. I'd have easily been one of those people who were consumed by the void, but I simply didn't join them. A stroke of luck, perhaps, was the difference between death and survival. But but I need to be more careful. Whatever the case, I'm alive, and I'm never touching an elevator in my life ever again, which I'm sure is pretty good. So, frick me. But but listen, I'm sure it's very good. So yeah, for me, and I simply do not understand. Of course, the Wanderer explains his difficulties and of course, no one understands fully like the mysterious nature of three or two levels. But considering he was, I guess, lucky, this is the only person noted to have survived simply after this post was getting post deleted and was shared by this wanderer in his experience with level 163. I wouldn't, I wouldn't tend to try this because many is unknown and the probability or chance of this happening. But I would recommend not to because your fate could be undecided. So of course, this is still under investigation, and and overall, I wouldn't. And overall, this is almost a safe. This is almost about a safe level, but could still be investigated farther, which it, which, of course, in some scary cases, it, it, it just can sometimes. But that but that with some would say no and some would say yes, but I am understanding it's up to you. So I'm going to leave your thoughts on this level up to you, and simple. Eh, anyways, um, nextly,
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. And anyways, if you want to see more of my content, then I mean, comment. I mean, if you want me to ever show you a level, if you ever want me to go over a level or like kind of you can do your own thing or I can do my own thing, but then just comment below and thanks for enjoying and sorry guys that I was so quiet, just turn it up. I had some problems and while overfilming while editing this, so anyways, thank you for watching my video and make sure to like and I noticed make sure to subscribe.